is time now for another episode of Miss Carlton Teaches from a Distance. So today we are doing William Wordsworth's poem, I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. It is a pretty picture. A lot of times poems mean something more. Poets give you a lot of symbolism. You know, this is a symbol of this, da da da. But in this case, it's just a pretty picture. It's really very on the surface. So here's what I'd like you to imagine. Okay, I'll show you this picture. This is a field of daffodils. Now you can see just thousands, tens of thousands of daffodils. My guess is this is somewhere that is raising daffodil bulbs to sell to the public. Okay, so I want you to see this. Now visualize or imagine, if you will, this wind hitting this, okay? They would just waves. I'm trying to think of the right word here. They would just move in waves of yellow. The other thing I want you to notice is this cloudy sky. Okay, now try to also imagine, like off to the side somewhere here, there is a body of water. Okay, that's what we're visualizing as we read this poem. Okay, so let's go back up to the top here. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over valleys and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the breeze, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Oops, I said beneath the breeze. Sorry, that's supposed to be beneath the trees. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. Now, that's what I'm talking about here. We're going to pretend there's like a body of water out beside our picture, a bay of water. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not be but gay in such jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth to show to me had brought. Okay, we're going to stop right there a second. We're going to draw a line right there to, divide. These three stanzas here, these three happen while he's there at the field of daffodils next to the bay. This stanza happens much later, after he's just remembering it. So we're going to say later. This happens at a later time. Okay. Also, some discussion about the words he uses here. He says glee, gay, and jocund. Okay, glee, means happiness. Gay originally meant happiness, and jocund means cheerful and happy. So we have three in a row here that all have the same meaning. Cheerful, happy. And that's what he's saying. This seeing these 10,000 daffodils makes him very happy. Okay, so back to the poem. We're at a later time. He says, for oft, which is short for often, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. Okay, so he says, the bliss of solitude. Bliss is happiness again, perfection, if you will. And solitude, of course, means being by yourself. So what he's saying is this inward eye, our brains, our memories, are the happiness of being alone, meaning that we have time to think, time to really process what we've seen, what we've our memories, that sort of thing, when we're by ourselves. And this has created for him a happy place. Okay, this is his happy place. If we were in class, I would have said, I want you to visualize your happy place. For some people, that is a beach with the sand between your toes. For some people, that's, you're hearing the seagulls overhead. You're hearing the waves crash up on your toes. For some of you, that might be in the woods. You're in the mountains and you can smell the dampness. You can hear a whippoorwill, or you see For some of you, you see bear cubs, or you see a little snake, or you see a deer. For some of you, maybe you're in a deer stand. You're experiencing nature that way. But there's a happy place where all of you are. I said this in class one time, and this little girl said Macy's. I mean, she was a shopper. So for her, her happy place was anywhere where there was a lot of shopping to be done. Okay. What I want you to notice on this one, we've got some stuff to pay attention to here. Let's see here, the very top, cloud. Okay, we're going to do a couple of things here. First, we're going to look at rhyme scheme. Cloud is our first rhyme, so of course it gets an A for the first letter of the alphabet. The next line ends in hills. Hills obviously does not rhyme with cloud, so it gets the next letter of the alphabet. It gets a B. The next one is crowd, which rhymes with cloud, so it gets an A. Daffodils rhymes with hills. That's a B. Okay. And then you've got a couplet here, trees and breeze. Now these guys get C's because they don't rhyme with either cloud or with hills. Okay, so we've got a pattern that we've established, which is alternating the first four lines and then a couplet in the end. So we're going to say A, B, C, C. Now let's see if that continues on through the next three stanzas. Shine way, line bay, glance dance. Okay, you see what that is? Shine, way, line, bay. So they're alternating. Glance dance. That's a couplet again. So we have this same standard. Alternate the first four lines, match the last two. Okay, look up here. They, glee, gay, company, which is a bit of a stretch, but we're going to say company rhymes with glee. They, glee, gay, company. And then if we're following this pattern, then these last two lines will rhyme. Thought, brought. See? Same pattern. Check the last one. Lie, mood, I, solitude. And again, the last two lines are going to match. Fills, daffodils. There you go. With this pattern stays throughout the entire poem. Now I've got one more thing I want you to notice. It's probably easiest. Let's look here. Continuous as the stars that shine. Let's count that out. Continuous as the stars that shine. Well, that's 9. Okay. So let's put a 9 right there. And twinkle on the Milky Way. That's 8. They stretched in never-ending line. That's 8. Along the margin of a bay. Well, we got 8 again. This leads me to believe that maybe I messed up on the first one. Continuous as the stars that shine. No, I didn't. It's still 9. 10,000 saw I at a glance. 8. Tossing their heads in sprightly dance. 8 again. Okay, so we've got almost all of 8. Now let's go over to this other guy and see if we have the same pattern. For oft when on my couch I lie. There's 8. Now at this point we got so many 8s, we're going to start just randomly picking something and see, because that means it's probably all the same. Which is the bliss of solitude. 8 again. So with the exception of this little line right here, we've got 8 all the way down. Looking at the beginning here, I wandered as a cloud. Oh, that one doesn't. I wandered. Oh, I skipped a whole word. I wandered lonely as a cloud. There you go, guys. This has, except for that one bizarre line, continuous as the stars that shine. We have, except for this line, 8 beats all the way through. You have a pattern here of rhyme scheme, and you have the same beats all the way through. Then you also, so you have a set style here for Wordsworth. We're going to see another Wordsworth poem in a moment, and we'll look and see if he keeps this style all the way through. It's a very set way to write. It's a very strict way to write. To limit yourself to this style is, in some cases, it makes very wonderful poetry, and it's so obviously poetry. I mean that because it's not what we would call a free verse or blank verse where it's just kind of all over the place. A lot of people in today's world want to just write words down and go, this is a poem. And it is, that's true. But for some people in a very conservative nature, this is what we're talking about when we say poetry. Very strict and very set. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye with this one and pick you back up in a moment with another Wordsworth.